So welcome, Dr. Hanan. You look a lot more beautiful because you have dark hair, and for me, I love dark hair.
Really?
My daughters love your pink and blue and green hair.
Yes.
But I personally like dark hair. I'm a dark-haired kind of man, woman.
Well, I'm very happy to make you happy today. Thank you.
Well, good. All right, Dr. Hanan. So listen, I have a lot of questions. And basically they're concerns concerning these protocols, right? And when we started last week, you hit the nail on the head when we started talking about detox, right? And I got very happy because I didn't really know you were a specialist on that, and you've done extensive work with purification programs and detoxification. So that made me happy because I feel more comfortable when I'm going to get this from you. Okay. And all these things are dealing with that subject, detoxification, detox, right? Okay. So you mentioned last weekend something I really liked was when you said, and I said, well, what if he doesn't do a detox? And you said, these were your exact words, okay? It's like putting fresh new clothes without taking a shower over dirty clothes, correct?
Correct.
So my first question is, we know it's important, but how important? I mean, I can live with dirty clothes under my clean clothes, over my, who cares, right? I mean, I don't need to take a shower. There's people who don't take a shower 3-4 days a week, maybe weeks. I don't know. They don't smell their own smell. I mean, so what? I don't care. I really don't understand. Okay, man.
I think that's hilarious. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. My battery was dying right at the moment, right in the middle of your story.
So that's my thing. So right. I don't care. It's important, but I don't want to do it. I ain't got time for this crap. You understand? I don't want to be headaches and this and that.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
I completely understand. So you don't have to. A person doesn't have to. If they decide they don't want to detox, they don't want to cleanse, they don't want to get all of the toxins and the worms and the parasites and the fungus out of their body, they can just spend lots of money putting lots of good nutrition and good food, and they will spend so much money and so much time because all of those pathogens, we talked about this, a pathogen is anything that survives at the detriment of the host. A pathogen sucks all of the nutrients, all of the life, all of the blood, all of the oxygen out of the host. So not detoxing means that a person is going to spend all their time and money and energy feeding all of the worms and parasites and fungus, and it will take them much longer to get healthy. It will be impossible to gain full health without detoxing.
Okay, so I see that it's sort of like an via then, right? You're not really treating yourself. You're treating these parasites. You're treating all these pathogens. You're treating all these worms and all these other living animals that's inside you then.
Right.
Okay.
And actually, Henry, it's even worse than that, because the majority of diseases in the body happen as a result of these pathogens growing and sucking the nutrients out of the body. So cancer, for instance, is actually a fungus. So if you detox and you get the fungus out, guess what? You don't have to worry about getting cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Trying to find out if someone gave me the translation of
pathogens.
Pathogens.
Yeah, it'll be the same as what's the other word? Like a blood sucker.
So we don't identify cancer as a fungus.
Right. It doesn't pay to identify it as a fungus because right.
So I guess if we go through that path and clean up this body, then all these alternate diseases start bye-bye.
You got it.
You start recovering your health then.
There's nothing for these diseases There isn't anything to grow into a disease, and there isn't anything for the disease to hold on to. If that body is balanced, those frequencies are balanced, the vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, amino acids are all in balance. There isn't anything to be diseased.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now you mentioned the other day, and it wasn't on the program. You mentioned about these other effects that these parasites and living organisms do. They defecate. They go to the restroom.
Right.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, so this is important for two reasons. Number one, in the basic stages of disease, think about it. We pull in parasites through the bottom of our feet. We get them in the food that we eat. You get fungus, it's airborne, we breathe it. And so these things go in the body, and then they lay eggs, and they hatch in the system, and they grow and develop. And then you end up with millions of these things throughout the body. And you get something like fungus that's like a spider web, and it just grows throughout the entire body. And then these parasites float up the spinal column into the brain, and all along they are excreting toxins, and they're eliminating waste. And so what happens is the body begins to be very toxic. It's like toxic fumes, but it's all enclosed in the body. So when you get things like migraines, glaucoma, fogginess of eyes, tinnitus where the ears begin to ring, these things all stem as a result of this infestation and all of the waste.
All right, give me those 4 or 5 words you said. Headaches, what else?
Oh, headaches, glaucoma, from eyesight, tinnitus, where you have ringing in the ears. It can Alzheimer's, anything having early onset dementia, things that have to do with the memory and the mind.
Wow.
And the list goes on and on and on. Fatigue. People who are always tired. No matter, they could sleep 12 hours. They're still tired. All of these things stem from an infestation of parasites and candida and all their waste.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, muy bien. Wow. This is what I say, that if you learn things the right way, with the proper importance, you'll be able to act upon it. Your willingness will be there to make things happen. And that's what I say. You just don't tell people, okay, go get detoxified. I don't think it works just with that. They may be saying something that's very true, but it's not important enough for people to see it.
Yeah, and when you were giving the list, I was thinking also another real common one that people have problems with, arthritis.
Arthritis.
You know why? Because the worms and parasites, they rest in the joints, and they excrete those toxins and waste, and that stuff gets stuck in the joints, and it causes severe pain because it's very toxic.
Right. So this is why some of the LIFEWAVE patches, with their an incredible detox, like the glutathione, for example, Eon, right?
Right.
They kill, wherever there's inflammation, it reduces it almost instantly. And that's basically what they're doing, also handling those things, huh?
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. Go ahead.
But I was going to say, for those smart people out there right now that are thinking all I have to do is put patches on and I don't have to worry about detoxing internally, no.
No, we were talking earlier on a meeting I had, and they were asking me about protocols, my internal team, the administrative part. And I told them, look, there's different levels of protocols, and I cleared it with them. I know you're going to clear it with us later. And definitely it's when you use the LIFEWAVE patches, is a specific level of handling and assist, but it's not going all to the bottom unless you do a full protocol, personalized, where the person can from the root eliminate all these diseases and all these all the origin, or at least
Right.
control it and recover your health. That's a better way of stating it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So how many, I asked you that question, you explained it to me, but I want everybody to know this now. How many things can we detox in our body? I mean,
Oh. If you think about, the blood flows throughout the entire body, throughout every cell. There is no place, the toenails, the eyeballs, the eyelashes, the inner ear, there is no place that the blood does not flow. So this means there is no place in the entire body that is free from some type of infestation or infection. Something, parasites, worms, bacteria, virus, candida, which is fungus. So that means for every single organ, for every single system, for every single part of the body, you can detox, And
Okay.
there are some things that work for some areas and other things that work for others.
Okay. All right. Okay. So when we start detox, okay, you're going for the whole deal, because you just can't detox one and then the others are left toxified, because the blood is still circulating everywhere.
Right.
It's hitting the liver, but it's hitting the kidneys, and it's hitting your heart, and it's hitting your brain.
Right.
So it's either all or nothing in this thing. Am I getting this right?
It's a lot easier and simpler than it sounds. We're talking about it, and it sounds like it could be a long, drawn out, convoluted thing, but it's a lot easier than it sounds. And for instance, you could do just a liver cleanse. There are cleanses that will just cleanse the liver, and that's great, because maybe if you drink alcohol or you have different issues going on, cleansing the liver might be a good idea, and that will help. The body will be better off with a clean liver than without it at all, but it's just not going to be the complete protocol.
Okay, okay, I like that. Okay, I like those words when it's called simpler.
Right.
I like the simple part. Okay, good. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Of students, right? Students or people that I've trained, right? And they have a mind that is just completely full of crap.
Right.
Of these ideas of how life is and how business is and how hard it is and how difficult it is. And until you can't get all this out of their mind, you can't teach them anything, because they're already preconditioned. And it's like you have to, I would say you have to decrap them, right? Detoxify them, right? But it's the word right now. And this reminds me of that. So it follows the same pattern, because if you teach people on top of all this false information, they never make it.
Right.
And you can be there for years teaching people, and the person's still an idiot. And you're like, why?
That is the...
He's got that fungus.
Yeah, that's...
Pathogens, ideas that are pathogenic, I guess.
Yes. That's a perfect analogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is exciting, because what I realize is that we never really gotten started in all these diets and all these health recovery programs if we've never done this correctly.
Right. It completely aligns. It is part of the start. You know? Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the next question is, all right, so there's different levels of illnesses that people are more advanced than others. Mm-hmm. There's people who may not be that toxic. No matter what, everybody needs to get through that detox first, right?
Right.
And then the heavier they get, the more complex, or the more supervision, or how's the protocol? It becomes a little bit more intriguing. What? Go ahead.
So I didn't understand what you were saying. You said the heavier they get.
Yeah, let's say someone's been a diabetic for 15 years and have taken insulin, or drug addict or alcoholic or taking pop medicine for the last 30 years.
Right.
I mean, that body can't be in the greatest shape in the world when we look at a detox.
Right.
And there's guys who haven't, you know. And,
but I want to tell you something. You're right, but I just want to say something to you. You know, I do biofeedback. You know, I do biofeedback, and we'll talk about that another time. But in biofeedback, when I run a person, I can see the level of toxicity. And it goes line by line, bacteria, virus, toxic, inflammation, you know, blah, 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 right? And I can see it. And I will tell you that I run even children and people who are so-called healthy. And Henry, in America especially, and in some developing countries, we are so infected. People are so infected and they don't know it. They think that they're healthy. Maybe they get out of bed and they get like a little crook when they get ready to get up, or maybe they don't quite sleep really good, but they just think it's normal to sleep 3 or 4 hours a night. People are so sick. They're much, much sicker than they even think they are. So one person, it might be obvious. They've been doing drugs for 30 years. Another person, it isn't obvious. And those two people, actually, they'll have different protocols after the detox, but the detox is the most important one, because when they do that one there, most of the situations are handled in that piece of the protocol.
Wow.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So sometimes when they find out that they're sick, they're close to dying.
Right. They're much closer to dying than they are to living. And they don't even realize it until they actually start going through a detox. And then they realize, because all of a sudden they're sleeping well, they have energy, they get up, they don't have crooks, all of a sudden their eyesight gets better. And then they realize how sick they really were.
Okay, so this starts explaining why, when I start see all these things now make sense, you know, like you said earlier. So this explains why LifeWave made such an impact in my life so fast.
Right.
You know, because I did not have more energy than I had, and it was very low now to the amount that I have. Not because of the patches only, but because of other stuff that you've been handling me, helping me, the protocol that David gave me. And it's right. I sleep better. I look better. I feel better. I mean, and I had all these little side effects, right? So symptoms. And then, like I told you Saturday, if we would have done that biofeedback a month and a half ago, it would have been a lot worse than how good it was.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
One of the things that I realized in the biofeedback is that I had an idea of what was wrong with my body. Right?
Yeah.
And then when we made a real analysis of this, we find out that no, that wasn't what was wrong. That wasn't the handling. And I'm here like, you know, looking at the left side of the field when it's completely the opposite.
Right.
So these self-assumptions, right?
Yeah.
You start self-diagnosing things that they may not even be wrong with it.
Right.
Or someone diagnosing things that are not really wrong with you because they don't have the expertise and they don't have the proper way of looking at things. So that's a big issue. You find that as an issue with people, as a big obstacle too? It makes it even worse?
You want me to answer that before you translate what you just said?
Yeah, let me translate. I get excited. I forget I got to translate. Okay, good. Now you can tell us about this self-diagnosed thing, me no better stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah. You know what, Henry, I'm going to tell you. This is what's so important about what you're doing. Because what you're doing is you're saying, hey, stop. Hold up a minute, and let's go through this step by step, and let's define the words, and let's define the concepts, and let's actually understand what it is we're talking about. Because we've been going through life with wrong information, incorrect definitions, incomplete definitions. We've been listening to people who have a lot to gain from our illness and our ignorance. And so to stop Sometimes it seems like it's taking longer because you're stopping and you're actually getting the true information. But once you get that information, you can go A to Z very, very quickly. So that's what this is about right now. When we're talking about what I'm saying to you, that if you get rid of the candida, the parasites, the toxicity in the body, that many of the symptoms that we label as cancer, Parkinson's, arthritis, these kinds of things will disappear. I'm telling you what's real. And the only reason why people will continue to have these is because they're missing the information that we're talking about right now. So information and education is very important. It goes back to start. We have not ever started our bodies. We've never started on this road of optimal health because we've never investigated it fully, and we've gotten information from people who have never investigated fully. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a big mouthful right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to take it any longer. What I like to do is make them short so people can review them. We're almost at the top of the hour.
Okay.
I know there's tons of questions, Dr. Hanan, this, one, and the other. But what I've noticed is that a lot of these questions are out of sequence. I mean, we want questions about this. I know people want some answers. Well, they come at the right moment also. Mm-hmm. So we're going to skip the questioning part. I know most of the stuff I communicated, and I'll let them know.
Okay.
I will talk to you to see when our next meeting is. I know we got 4 or 5 days coming up that we're going to be very busy here in Vegas. But definitely the sooner, the better next week.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else you want to say, Dr. Hanan, before we end off?
Again, thank you again. I think that this is really important. And, a lot of the questions that you're going to get, I know what happens. People are suffering from very specific things, and they're going to want to ask, how do they handle those very specific things? But I think the way that you're doing it is the correct way, because if we just take a few of these sessions and go through these basics, the stuff will fall into place, and everybody's going to end up starting with these basics anyway. They'll handle so much. The questions are going to change. So I would just tell everybody, thank you very much, and hopefully they'll continue to tune in and learn, and we can all get healthy together.
Awesome. I like that part. All right. Well, Dr. Hanan, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. And you know that you're vital, and we're also very happy that you're on our team, that you are an exclusive Minister of Health.
That's right. I'm very happy to hold that post. Thank you very much.
See there, you gotta just show the label. See, you have your label here, the emblem.
I gotta get my little name tag.
There you go. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay.
Bye bye.